The Springboks, the world champions, will be taking on their all-time rivals, the All Blacks. It's a Southern Hemisphere titanic clash that has lived through the ages. And they'll be meeting at 5 o'clock at Ellis Park Stadium for the first time that this match will be taking place since the World Cup final in Paris in 2023, where South Africa edged it by just 1 point. And we're hoping that the All Blacks have not forgotten that, of course. I'm joined to look at the preparations for Ellis Park Stadium ahead of that all-important match in the Rugby Championship by Ellis Park Stadium Managing Director Pieter Burger. Pieter, thank you so much for your time. And I don't know if I'm exaggerating if I say it's stressful to prepare for any match, more so a test match, but the Springboks-All Blacks test match is on another level. You'd be hard-pressed to find a bigger game for Ellis Park Stadium.
No, definitely. We've said it before, and I've had the privilege in my tenure at Emirates Park. I've only been here for 4 years. It feels like 4 million, but in my first year, I had the privilege to be part of the team that managed and arranged All Black test, and it definitely aged me by at least 30 years. So it is a major privilege to be part of the organizing committee and a part of the management and the brain trust as far as looking at innovation improvements for a big mega event like this is concerned. And there's a lot of hard work that goes in behind the scenes and a lot of people that contributes to making this a massive success. And definitely, you know, it's something that we don't say often enough. We just had the All Blacks here this morning, and one of the comments that they made as a visiting team was that your artificial pitch is looking great. They couldn't believe that it was natural pitch and a natural grass. You know, from Haswell and his team, Josiah and everyone else, making sure that that pitch looks so good that a national side like the All Blacks confuses it with artificial grass. You know, it's a huge compliment from the guys that painted the roads, from the guys that opened the Plaza Ellis Park Station that's been closed for the last 45 years. You know, those unsung heroes, my staff, you know, that worked tirelessly, not just the week before a test and a game, but the guy from Joburg Power that you know just made sure that all the lighting is sorted at all the different right places. Thanks to all of them. There's always a saying, it takes a village to raise a child, and it definitely takes more than a village to successfully prepare and host a mega event like a Springboks versus All Black clash. Yeah, and for us, obviously, as fans, when we think of this fixture at the iconic Ellis Park Stadium, we think of a sold-out crowd, which it's gonna be again tomorrow. We think a sold-out crowd, but for you, the work or this fixture actually starts maybe a week, 2 weeks before. Just give us an indication. Just take us into Ellis Park Stadium. At this present moment, you are there at the stadium. What's going on? What kind of work is happening? Are there, you know, butterflies in your stomach and everybody who's working there's stomachs? So to speak? Definitely. I think the preparation, you know, for an international event actually doesn't start a week before. It actually starts a year before. We're already planning for potential mega events next year. But, you know, not only as much detail, but the physical actual starting point of the planning is more than 12 months ago. From 6 months out, a lot of more focused, detailed planning and bi-weekly meetings starts taking place with various different departments and stakeholders as to ensure that we learn from, you know, the previous game. After each mega event that we host, we have a post-mortem with all the relevant stakeholders and feedback from the end users as well. For us at Emirates Park, we take feedback very seriously if it's done respectfully and constructively, and look at how we can consistently improve on the end user experience. We try to manage what the controllables are as much as we possibly can beforehand, to leave ourselves a week before the test to really just crisis manage. With a mega event like this, there's always last minute things that pop up, things that sometimes maybe no one thought about, and that's what we add on a list of a post-mortem to control if it is controllable for the next year. And then just to crisis manage the smaller things and just look at refining refining what we're doing and what we've done. So that's a lot of stomach, a lot of butterflies in our stomachs, and all the different staff's stomachs. Majority of the bigger work has been completed, and we like it to be completed at least on a Friday afternoon, let's call it by 4 o'clock, which it almost is now. The precinct then starts getting closed off, the bigger outer precinct, and cleaned, sanitized, from unwanted elements, and making sure that it's a safe, secure environment, and that if it gets cleaned, it stays clean. From this evening, or let's call it about 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock side, to be completed hopefully by about 10 o'clock this evening, the outer precinct gets sanitized and completely closed off in preparation then for tomorrow, when the final touches, if you will, and inspections are being done on everything that should have been done and completed now by 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah, Pieter, I know you the stadium launched an exciting project with PRASA over the past weekend, which will see or make it easier for fans to come to the stadium to streamline sort of the transportation system there. What's going to happen, and how can the thousands of South Africans wishing to come see the spectacle live make sure that they get there, they use this mode of transport?
Well, the first thing I would like to just ask spectators is get you early. We open up at 12. There's a lot of activations. There's a lot of interesting food stalls to cater for dietary requirements. Whether you want to have a cool drink, a slush puppy, a coffee, or even a cold beer, there's a lot of that around as well. So make sure that you come early to avoid traffic. We've further, as you rightfully indicated, built on and refined our outer precinct and our bigger transport and road plan. So there's various different options and ways of getting here, through on park and rides to point transfers with dedicated places where those individuals and routes where they should use to get people in quicker, faster, safer, and get them out quicker, faster, and safer. One of the major coups this year, and that we tried something new this year, and something that we expanded on our relationship from last year, is from local community development and investment as well, with the local taxi association. They partnered with us and St. John's this year for the first time for park and rides on a dedicated route from St. John's for people that want to park down there, which is an amazing initiative for them, and we thank them for coming on board. PRASA, and I openly said it during a national press conference that was hosted yesterday at Emirates Inland Park and Auditorium. When they had their first meeting, I'm just a normal average South African. I don't like to necessarily be on talk shows. I don't like to be on TV. I'm maybe a little bit too jaded, and I like just to get things done. And I apologize on national TV to some of the guys that had a meeting with me 5 weeks ago saying that we're going to open up a train station that has been closed for 45 years. I was that South African that laughed and said, maybe this is politicking, maybe this is just canvassing. I've got work to do. That's great. I talk to me when it's open. And it's open. 3.5 weeks later, it was open with, after being closed for 45 years, completely revamped and redone. Park Station itself has been completely revamped and done with amazing shops, ATMs, tellers, security, and stores. So you can now take the Gautrain from anywhere in terms of the Gautrain service facilities and stops, go directly to Park Station, transfer 80 meters, almost like in London, from the underground to an overland rail transfer to the next platform, where a brand new PRASA train with a 3,000 person capacity is waiting for you, and then take a 3-minute and 30-second train trip to Ellis Park Station, dropping you off in the southwestern corner of the stadium, giving you two options to enter the stadium, either south, let's call it 60 meters walk, or north, let's call it 75 to 80 meters walk. So Pieter, that's definitely a game changer.
I'm gonna have to come in there. Pardon me for cutting you off there. We're desperately out of time. Just in 5 seconds, what time do the gates open?
12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. We should all be making our way to Ellis Park Stadium with kickoff at 5 p.m. The Springboks, remember, the All Blacks know we only need 1 point to beat them